Hi guys, this is Nikki, you also known as Faces Trader, and you're watching the Awesome 10X live market update. It's November 9, 2020. Let's discuss the Philippine market. So in the Philippines, you could see that continued strength. Actually, we've got many winners, and we still continue to see strength after a continuous strength. Index is at 6685, but that doesn't show us the true thing that happened in the market. What we saw in the market was continued outperformance of your ASEAN and NIKL. You've got your Marymart, which is also up. Let's take a look at each one by one. Let's take a look at the top traded for the day. Your Dito Telecom is down 3% from 611 to 588. You've got that selling pressure after falling to about 5 peso a week ago. It also has been volatile for Dito, and so that also translated some volatility to other telecoms like Converge and Now and all of those names. Let's take a look at all of these telcos. Let's take a look at it sector by sector. So Dito is down, C is down, Now is down. So they typically move the same. Similarly, you've got some discrepancy on some supermarkets. Marymart is actually up. Today it's up 7%, but your pure gold is actually languishing down to about 40.85. Its lowest in the last maybe 7 months. This is as of April, and now it's November. So that 40.85 is one of the lowest in the last 7 months. Take a look though that at 38 pesos, we see some support on pure gold if it will fall. However, if you bought today at 40.85, I do think that the downside is smaller rather than the upside. Let's take a look as well on all the names that happened for the day. Let's take a look at stats. Let me just show to you the top gainers for the day with volume. So the top gainers for the day, you've got your FNI and NIKL up. FNI is now trading at 1.51. Your mark is up 105. Your Macro Asia is up 9%. Your ASEAN is up 8% to 4.14. And of course, your NIKL Asia was up something like 430 for the day. It's up 5%. It's now trading at 432. So you could see that the entire nickel sector is one of the strongest moves for the day. You've got the mining sector also up. Your APX mining is now up to 6% to about 202. And then, of course, even the other commodities, like which we never quite mentioned, but is very strong, are your at least, well, no, it's not very strong, but there's like at least some volume, no? So your Lepanto was also up. Technically, your mining was up, no? Your Philex ba is up. Teka, let me see. Is Philex up today? 574, not like 8% up, but it's still up, right? Philex Petroleum, not so much. Actually, I think it's more of some measurement on some gold. Teka lang, let's see. Take a look at your XAU USD. Wait. So gold is rallying from about 1880 to now 1963. Now, while that looks like a strong move, it still is just a breakout in the last 3 days ago. So we are seeing that gold miners have been picking up. So I would say that even your Philippine counterparts, typically you've got your Apex rising on that gold move. So Apex is up today, 6%. Philex not so much. LC was even up, no? 7%. But yeah, this one isn't typically being traded on the gold move. The market really trades mostly Apex and Philex for the gold move. Okay, let's take a look as well on some names. Teka lang. Let's take a look on your platform stats. So other than your nickels, your mining really went higher today. Let's take a look at any loser for the day. Other than, okay, let's take a look at the losers. MRC is down 5% from 45 cents, went down to 425 cents. Although that is a big drop, 5%, it still is above that 36, 32 cent level. So there's still that flag going on for MRC. We do note that MRC has a resistance at 48 cents. So it just really is being profit taken from. Take note that as it is still above 34, 35 cents, this is still consolidating, potentially consolidating the way that your other winners were doing. Like when NIKL Asia was consolidating at 320, rallied to 380, today at 430. However, that is the same figure on FNI. Consolidated here at about 106, broke 136. Today is actually a breakout, but there's still that resistance at 166. But actually, it's not a true breakout given that it's actually a continuation. what we're saying is that from 45 cents to 136, even if you might consider that a breakout, this is still just a continuation in the last 6 to 7 months, given that the entire nickel move was actually predominated by Nickel Asia, followed by FNI, and then followed by your mark. So actually, the movement is quite almost the same. So it's not really a certain, it's more of a sectoral bet. And I would say that everyone has been betting on Nickel Asia for quite about 7, 8 months now, March till November. So I wouldn't be arguing that Nickel Asia, while it's very strong, could still be continuously up. However, you do see the 380 mark now as a support with this 4.6 and really this high of about 5 pesos being the resistance. So we argued before that can Nickel Asia go 4.2? Today, the market said that it's a yes, and the answer is that it is a yes, no? So the market truly did Nickel Asia 4.2. That is a big move since about 1.4 or about 200 to 300% up since these lows, no? So technically, I'd say that do not assume that this one goes straight up. Even if it goes to 460 or 5, there will be some resistances at those levels as it's already above 300. It's above 3.8. Very, it can continue strong, but do not chase. Let's take a look at your movements. Let's take a look at your index. So your index is 6.6. Your market value is very strong pa rin. It's now trading at 7.5 billion. So your typical, that's double your current market caps. Sorry, that's double your current market value turnover. You used to have an average about 3.6 to 4 billion. So this 7.5 is actually a double move. So very strong volume, but still very bullish. However, you have to make sure what you're buying. So let's see today's roundup on the index group. On the index, you've got your Meralco 4% up, SM Prime 3% up, Aboitiz Power. I think it would be better to read the exact prices instead of that 4%. Let's take a look at it from a price perspective. So your SM Prime is now 35.85. We do note that at 36 to 38, there will be some resistance. Meralco 313. Let's take a look at the chart of Meralco. However, Meralco, I think at about 330, 360 always has resistance. Very strong move given that Meralco has been consolidating at about 280 for quite a while. This break of Meralco at 300 is one of the fastest breaks, if you would say. That is a round number break. Used to have a difficulty at that 302. Today's 313 shows to us that there are more and more believers in the market rally, and so Meralco has benefited on that front. Let's take a look at your index. Okay, let's take a look at each one of the prices. URC is now trading at 143.9, still a laggard, still see a resistance about 150. However, there's a very strong support on URC below 138, 139, 140, yun. Telephone is now trading at 1.4. So as it fell from 130, it's not 1.3, it's now 1.4. So you've got that normal move for PLDT after, of course, a very good earnings number. BDO is now trading at 92.65, still a laggard, still got resistances at 100, still got support at 90 below. Your Jollibee is now trading at 200 bucks, trading at 199. We do see that Jollibee outperformance can continue. It can even go stronger at 220 to 230. However, do note that there will be resistances at 220 to 230. This 200 to 220 mark could actually be riddled with resistances. Buyers should actually wait it out. If you are looking to buy your Jollibees and a little bit apprehensive after the strong run-up, see if there will be some profit taking. However, the profit taking might be limited to maybe 185 to 190. We're not really sure if it will go to 180 below. However, that is a more comfortable re-entry area if you are taking a look at Jollibee. If you want to re-enter or just buy more of it, try to wait it out at about 185 below. Your GT cap is very strong today at 510. So we have been advocating GT cap about 400, even as high as 380, 440. So yeah, we've been accumulating GT cap, telling it to our viewers here. I think like GT cap at this point in time, just let it consolidate 500, 510, can have some selling pressure at that 500 area. But like all the winners, I think that you let it consolidate, let it simmer until it actually goes 550, 540. So really, it's a waiting game. Your Your globe is 2-1, waiting game could go to 150, could go to 2. So it has been supported at 2,000, just like telephone has been supported at 1,300 below. AEV, I don't watch that too much. 48 levels right now. Let's see. Aboitiz Power, 28.4. So I think these utilities, I haven't been taking attention to them. So yeah, not so much. I don't know much. MPI is 4.2, steady lang, but there will be resistance at 440. Bloom, steady lang, but there's resistance at 9 and 10. DMC, very strong move, just like GT Cap and DMC. I do think that these two moves will just follow each other. So if DMC goes back to 550, chances are GT Cap can go to about 550 as well. I do think that any drops of these GT Cap and DMC have more buyers than sellers. So should DMC drop to about 450, 460, or should the GT Cap go down to 450 to 460, I do think that both of them can still rally 10 to 20%, even if your index is at 6668. Metrobank 4190, still profit taking there. San Miguel 104. This one is quite a laggard, if you'll notice. It's been sleeping for quite a while. There will be a resistance at about 120 or at about here 110, 112. I don't know much except that yeah, it's been sleeping for quite a while. Could be a laggard move. This one is trying to muster its way up. But yeah, so it could rally because it's been a laggard. Just don't know much about the company. I haven't been reading the news on San Miguel Corporation. Index movers, okay, so your Mega World is 325, got a resistance at 350 to 360. Security Bank 100 still has resistances at about, so all the banks have resistances. Every 5 to 10 pesos is a resistance for your Security Bank. First Gen, steady at about 30.29, you've got profit taking. LTG got profit taking as well. Robinson's retail here at 64.4 is actually quite attractive, similar to your pure gold. Your supermarkets are actually quite sold down. And in my view, that could be a contrarian move to buy them while the market is trying to sell it, given their plans on reopening. Wait lang. Sandali guys. Mute ko lang. Ayan. So, sige, let me take your comments if ever. Sige, let me just read it. What do you think of the Jollibee earnings? Are the losses likely priced in? Ever since 110 to 120, when Jollibee was reporting the earnings, we were quite contrarian in the sense that Jollibee was actually able to get $600 million no matter the really bad earnings. So we are of the view that it will still continue to be outperforming even if they report bad earnings come 6 months from now. What's important isn't really the number. What's important is that it narrowing the losses. And the answer on that front is that indeed Jollibee has been narrowing their losses. That said, take note that 200 to 220, there might be some resistance and profit taking after the successful move from about 150 breakout to the current 200. That will already tempt people to profit take. However, I don't think it goes 150 anymore. Chances are higher low at about 180 or even 175. Nona is saying, thank you for the ASEAN and the Macro Asia push. Indeed, so we have been advertising that ASEAN and NIKL Asia were a winner, likely 10x winners actually, if we had to choose a winner in the Philippines. And that is brought about by renewable energy and of course electric vehicles for NIKL Asia. As for Macro Asia, I'd say that temper your bullish thoughts. Despite the fact that it's at $6, 6 peso today, I'd say that Macro Asia will still continue to have some resistances along the way, even if it's very strong today. So let's take a look at the strong names, no? So so gold has been rising, just like of course your Bitcoin and all of the stocks in the world. Actually, a very strong move when you take a look at the global markets. So actually, the Philippines has been catching up to the world Macro Asia right now is trading at 618. So people might see this as a strong move because of a potential break of this resistance at 6. I do think that the market is really trying to play that reopening game, and take note though that that you will have some resistances here at these levels. So take note, there will be resistances at 730, just as high as 985. So just be aware of that. However, very strong support as well in my view, especially here at about 5. So I don't know if it will still go down to about 5, maybe the higher low is of 560. But yeah, Macro Asia, your restaurants, these are airlines and restaurant bets. The market is truly betting on this reopening move. So even if Cebu Pacific hasn't rallied, I would say that here at 39, it can rally to about 44 as a reopening move, just like what Chitica and the NCI did. So the negativity has actually been priced in as low as 400. So this is actually just a reversion. If the market is bullish on GT cap, it goes back to about 600 or 650 even. So you should be more aware of the companies that are laggards that will actually not that will actually give you bang for your buck, not necessarily on earnings, but actually just a narrowing of losses is enough. So CC is saying, just started investing. Which blue chip stock should I go for? Recently, I would say that your AGIs, your DMCIs, your GT caps are laggard conglomerates versus, of course, your SMs and ACs. So I would still advise you to still pick up your DMCI. So we actually tried to make an answer on DMCI to pick it up at about 4+ levels. Although this one is already at about 498, try to see if this one can give an entry back to about 4.5 or 4.7 within the next couple of days, or maybe just post it for the month, see if you can get an entry. We did say that SSI, we think this goes about $2, so any drops at about 140 below. Today, it actually went as low as 132. You might try to see if there will be dips. For the day, it's 148. But I'd say that 150 to 130, every now and then, there will be these drops. Try to see if you can enter on the dips of SSI. Restaurants, of course, like pizza, sure looks like gonna happen to follow through with your Jollibees. So this one looks to me like a flag for your Shakey's Pizza, or more like a consolidation breakout of that 7 area, 680 to 7. So I think that this is a higher low move back to about 850. If you're willing to buy near 7 and sell near 840, it still gives you that 10, 20, 30% move, especially for our restaurant space. Okay, let's see. What are your thoughts on Dito? Should we hold? Looks like Dito is giving a lot of sell warning. Had a resistance at 780, had a resistance at 7, had the resistance at 6. So I think that even if your cost is very low, given that it is giving a lot of selling orders, you might wish to actually heed the market's answer in taking profits instead of holding all of your stocks. SSI po, ma'am. SSI looks to be consolidating. So we don't have an immediate resistance, although there are some sellers at 160, 150. Chances are they bought at 125. They want to take profits. But as you know, if the trend is never reversing, it should still be held or actually added on dips. So yon. Ma'am, what do you think about MRC and SSI? So MRC, I think, has been just profit-taking move. That said, I have been warning that 46 to 48 cents, MRC has those selling pressure. So that's really gonna be always there until it breaks above it. So as long as it's above as long as MRC is above 35 cents, you're bullish. But as long as it's below 48 cents, you're also aware that, okay, there's a range that's really happening here. Will Megawide go up again despite what happened with the scandal? Megawide is right now trading below 730. Let me see what is that scandal. M-Wide scandal. News. What's the scandal? Sorry, I wasn't reading. Can you share the links on the scandal? However, Megawide is very low at about 750 below. I think that it's not it's not a leader, definitely, as you see EI is doing well. If you're looking for construction, I'd say that there's bang for your buck on DMCI construction. Nonetheless, am I bearish on M-Wide? I think that it's not a bearish move, given that they do have a lot of rehabilitation on airports by Duterte's infrastructure program. However, it's really just a matter of delays, and people don't like delays on M-wide. And it really is in a delay, diba? Felix mining. Okay. Felix, I think, is following your gold place, similar to your Apex. So actually, Apex today is the more stronger move. Take note that people have been betting on Apex and Felix for quite a while now for gold, and then especially Apex went up because of your Felix Petroleum. So yeah, this one is just a continuation move. Apex is actually one of the best moves from 50 cents now trading at $2. So it was actually a breakout at 1.9 today. There will be some resistances here about 220. However, yeah, I think Apex is just a movement similar to your gold. So gold play, Felix was also rising the same way, 160 to 480, then rally to 6 pesos because of the PXP phenomenon. However, right now it's gold that's really lifting it up rather than Felix Petroleum, in my view. Buti nakahabol pa ako. What are the good stocks to buy now that we plan on going long? I think that you just really wait it out. Chances are, if you don't have GT cap, see if you can get an entry below 480, 470. So it's not, I wouldn't be in a hurry, but there are still names that will continue 10, 20%, even if your index looks to be a profit-taking zone here at about 6.6 to 6.8. Thanks for this effort. I follow your recos also in US market. Thank you for following and thank you for subscribing. Please do like the video so that the algorithms of Google can know that to recommend us more and more to people interested in stocks. SSP, I don't take a look at it. If I like semiconductors, I'd go for US. I prefer NVIDIA. I prefer Qualcomm, as you well know. What do you think about Frutas? Frutas looks to have been supported at about 130 ever since the news on that Mr. Ting, the styrofoam supplier. So I think like you've got a range play on your Frutas. You've got that resistance at 168 above, but you've also got that support at about 130 below. So yeah, the drop of 135, I wouldn't mind a pickup here below 130 to 125 actually. So yon. But I think like the market is actually over exaggerating pure gold and Robinson's retail. Any further 5% drops is actually a good entry point. We would be contrarian on pure gold and Robinson's retail. Just like what we have been advising you guys, we were a bit contrarian, or rather, we were very early in calling out that Nicolasia 180 was a buy, 230 Asen was a buy, even when there was nothing, like you don't even see chartists talking about it, right? So even Apex, we were saying at about 130 below that it was a good entry. So just like how we were early on those names, and even Jollibees, like we were very early on that, your pizzas, your Maxes, your SSIs. So I would say that the companies that are yet to be discovered by the market that should go 30% up would be your DMCIs, your GT caps, even your Cebu Pacific could have a 30% up. Give it some time. 39 to 37 should be an accumulation zone. Frutas at 130 below, it looks like there will be some buyers if you're willing to sell at about 150 above. So I'm not quite following Frutas reports every day. However, yun nga, if there's that vote of confidence of that Mr. Ting, I guess one man could influence people to actually continue purchasing their Frutas if somebody else was willing to buy something like 50 million shares, 30 million shares at 168. 50 million pesos, $1 million. So somebody was willing to bet at 168. So other people might wish to follow suit. I also wanted to share that, of course, tomorrow is the last day for Philinvest Land's 3 centavo dividend. We did say that Philinvest here at about 97 cents, or actually I featured it at 97 cents. Although I would be arguing that, even at 1 peso, you will be Na-end na, no? Yeah. Okay, guys. Yeah. So I think like in general, there still remains opportunities in the market. However, we are seeing some resistances. I should point out that SM Prime here at about 35.85 all the way to 38. You might see resistances on the way, same as SM, your AC, your Ayala Land. So you have to be a bit more cautious. If you're buying something today, you have to be selective or you want to wait it out. Let's say GT cap is not right now at 510 and you wait it out at about 500 man lang below. Try to see if you can get about 5% discount rather than just jumping in without any positions. But can it go 600? In my view, it depends on your outlook. If it's long term, then yeah, you should be able to probably get that bang for your buck. So, okay, thank you very much. See you again tomorrow. Please like the channel, subscribe, and watch us again every single day. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Okay na siguro?